Executive produced and written by Manuel Ruiz Barrera. Bistec is a riveting story of a longtime Cuban revolutionary and what happens when one of the nation's prominent dissidents moves into his neighborhood, exposing secrets, upending lives, and testing loyalties. This historical fiction drama reveals a modern world of Cuba's mysterious vigilance and snitches system against the backdrop of a powerful, emotional story that is packed with surprises. Dear listener, please be advised that this episode contains intense material, including graphic depictions of severe violence. Some content may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised.
Episode 5, Training a Snitch. Interior of Micaela's house, Santa Clara, Cuba. The year is 2014.
This is cassette number 4. The day the dissident Orlando Contreras arrived in the neighborhood marked the beginning of a new mission for a Shouty, to monitor the dissident. Of course, a dissident in any Cuban neighborhood attracts a lot of attention. But for a Shouty, this was particularly personal, because he had already been challenged by Colonel Roca, and he was a man who knew how to follow orders very well.
Exterior neighborhood in Santa Clara, Cuba. It's morning time. People are walking down the street when suddenly a car arrives. Orlando gets out of the car and Cecilia, a sexy 40-year-old woman, exits a house.
Cecilia! Oh my God!
Orlando! Darling! It's so good to see you! Welcome home!
Hey, beautiful. Thanks for everything you did for my mom.
Ay, please, Orlando, it's nothing really. I always loved Gladys as if she was my own mom. I'm happy to hand over her house to you just as everything was.
Interior of Contreras' house, living room, daytime. Orlando and Cecilia enter the house together.
Hey, but what's the rush if much of what's here is yours, Ceci? After so many years with her, Mom would give you anything you want.
Ay, no, Orlando. These things belong to you.
I insist that you at least choose some appliances or furniture. What are your plans?
Now that you arrived, I thought about moving with my cousin in Guanabacoa.
But woman, do you really think that after taking care of my mother for over 15 years, we'd just kick you out?
Well, it's just that you need your space and...
Stop talking nonsense. Because for us, you are family. Besides, there's plenty of space and rooms in the house. Isn't that right, Orlandito?
What?
Cecilia thinks we want to kick her out.
Kick her out? I was finally counting on someone who knows how to cook. Hey, I can't handle the old man's cooking anymore.
Okay. I will stay.
Cecilia hugs Orlandito when suddenly someone knocks on the front door.
Who is it?
I'm Ramiro Suarez, president of the CDR.
How can I help you, Mr. Suarez?
I just came to tell you that I'll come back after your move is finished to make sure that any electrical gadgets you're bringing here are registered.
We have nothing to hide, you hear? We work in the light of truth.
Yeah? And what truth is that? Eating shit by constantly attacking the homeland?
Neither you nor yours intimidate me. Besides, the only shit-eaters ruining our country are you guys.
You better watch your words and don't make yourself too comfortable in my neighborhood. Decent people have always lived here.
Decent people, you say? Let me show you who are the decent people, you piece of shit.
Orlando, please. It's Audi, calm down.
We have order in this neighborhood.
Well, you're the one who came to bother and snitch.
Enough, gentlemen. Stop. Enough.
I'll be back tomorrow morning. Have everything ready. See you later, comrade.
Yes, see you tomorrow, comrade.
At that time, Echauri leaves and Orlandito arrives.
Damn this freaking place. Shh. It's too predictable. Wherever we go, it's always the same shit. We're prisoners in this country.
Calm down, son. You know how things are.
No, I don't get used to it. I shouldn't have to get used to it, damn it. What future do I have here if all I'm good for is to work in the fields? And even there, I'm the marked son of a famous dissident.
I've told you 1,000 times that we are fighting for a cause that's bigger than ourselves.
Dad, I didn't choose this cause. This is your war, not mine.
Because of the work I do, of course we face difficulties. But thanks to that, we also live a little better than many people here.
Look, let's leave things there, because you always win.
Son, come here. Remember that your father always has your well-being in mind. You are and will be my priority.
Yeah, I know. But nothing about this life sits right with me. Look, I'm gonna go out for a walk to get to know this new paradise we're gonna live in. Maybe I'll find me a farm girl who finds I'm worth her trouble.
Take advantage of your walk, because remember that tomorrow they're coming for you to do the required work on the fields.
Orlandito walks out and closes the door behind him.
Controlar es el vicio ancestral de los que echan el hambre a rodar. No más. No más. No más. No más.
Orlando walks to the kitchen where Cecilia is cooking.
So, what are you cooking there, Cecilia? Or should I say, comrade?
Hi, Orlando. You know that Conrad ship is necessary to throw off the surveillance people. You know that, right?
I guess, but I always hate hearing that word. Well, then what's in the pan?
A very delicious surprise. Do you want to try it?
You know, not even Orlandito knows how useful you've been to me and the human rights cause. You've been instrumental, and it's one of the reasons I want you to stay with us.
I appreciate that, Orlando. I truly, truly do.
I've just been thinking that maybe ours could be more than a friendship with benefits. Maybe now that I'm permanently here, maybe we can take this to the next level.
Orlando and Cecilia begin to kiss passionately, eventually stumbling into a bedroom and closing the door.
Ay, mujer, ¿qué tienes en tu boca? ¿Qué tienes en tu boca? Morder tus labios me provoca. Esos labios con sabor a amor. Ay, mujer, quedamos embrujados. Dos locos que al final viven enamorados.
Colonel Roca and Hortensia meet by the National Monument to Che Guevara, a major landmark of Santa Clara, with thousands of annual pilgrimages that frequently feature Cuban school children and tourists.
Hortensia, beautiful.
Hello, Colonel Roca.
Oh, please don't call me Colonel. Call me Ramiro, that's my real name.
Okay, Ramiro.
Well, what do you think of our national monument to Che?
It's spectacular. It really moved me because Che is my hero. He's my everything. The world you created in this country is marked by his revolutionary spirit.
Fidel and all of us are pleased to hear that kind of reaction. That is why the young pioneers of Cuba say in every school, we want to be like Che. What do you say that we start our walk through the neighborhood? Huh? I have so much to share with you.
Yes, let's go. I'm eager to learn.
Well, the first thing you need to understand is that many of the things that I'm going to tell you, you should know, but you shouldn't disclose them. What I'm going to tell you refers to a way of working that should be the exclusive heritage of a true revolutionary. Not just anyone, but the profound ones.
Of course, I understand.
I'm telling you this because it could be misinterpreted as a monstrous tool, and that is not the idea. Here, the purpose is to defend the achievements of the revolution. Remember that revolutions always, from their birth, generate many adversaries.
I agree, but I also wonder, how can you trust someone if everyone could also be your potential enemy?
There lies the skill of the revolutionary. A next-level revolutionary like you and I have to develop the ability to set traps in the path of their suspects. They must use the bait until they see who takes a bite.
You're saying that we have to preserve our achievements no matter what.
Exactly. The only thing a revolutionary must never allow is a mechanism to be defeated. Everything else is justified if you want victory.
Understood.
Let's start with the neighborhood watch committees, our CDRs. These are the most basic organ of citizen surveillance because they operate from their very base, almost embedded in the houses, inside the bedrooms, in the domestic life of each person. Our CDRs are so pervasive, they even penetrate into the intimacy of bedrooms.
From the moment I first heard from them, I realized they are genius tools.
Oh, indeed they are. Our vigilance leaders know the problems of each house. They know what happens within the family, between couples, between parents and children, between siblings, cousins, neighbors, friends. They have no limits or secrets. The homeland empowers them to sniff into every corner. They know the intimacies of every citizen. They help us compile a database of everybody that always gives the fatherland a favorable hand. It's a structure created to have the most complete information about everybody.
And having that presence in every single block is priceless.
Correct. That's because each street is a battlefield. First is about knowing the physiognomy and imagination of each person. You must be clear about who your allies are, your adversaries, and those indifferent to the process. We understand the psychological and ideological characteristics of each citizen, their strengths and weaknesses, their passions and their doubts.
Well, that's a lot of details. I don't think we can ever reach such sophistication in Venezuela.
Look, gorgeous, if it was achieved in Russia, Germany, China, and Cuba, don't doubt that it will be done in Venezuela. Come on, allow me to take you by the arm and show you some of these things in action at the neighborhood level.
I'm all yours, Ramiro.
Look, first, as you supervise the CDRs, remember that you can't rely solely on what the president of each barrio tells you, or even the surveillance or ideological reports.
That's interesting. Why do you say that?
Our experience shows that because people can also have their perspectives tainted by the affections and subjectivities of the neighborhood. This means you have to be able to have another look for even more sets of information above them. You have to be sharper and more observant of their reality than they are. Almost like an eagle flying over an anthill.
This is profound stuff.
Oh, yes, it is, sweetheart. These insights are born from much training and experience. You also have to remember that regardless of your rank, it's vital for your growth that you walk the neighborhoods. Only by walking through the neighborhood can you make friends with the people, have them open their homes to you, and trust you with their secrets. You also have to monitor them without making them feel uncomfortable. That is vital.
But it is important that they feel fear, right?
Well, they're used to fear here. It's part of the culture now. They know they're being watched all the time, that there's a magnifying glass over their lives 24 hours a day. But you have to do this subtly. In other words, it's a yes but no situation. Confirming and hiding at the same time. Make them feel scared and intimidated by the surveillance, but at the same time, excite them.
So you need to create a sense that they have a certain amount of freedom, even though they don't.
Damn, sweetheart, you are ready to be my teacher.
Ramiro, that makes sense. I see the connections. It's very interesting to me.
Well, this is Fidel's genius. Our surveillance apparatus is truly the biggest secret weapon of our revolution. And what we most desire to give you and your people, and to all of our friends.
It's such a sophisticated marvel.
Come here. Let me show you one final dimension about our surveillance system that will fascinate you.
I feel so excited inside.
What I want you to remember is that you must learn to move along discrete lines. On the razor's edge, that means monitoring your comrades without making them feel like prisoners. Look, here's the butcher shop, which doesn't deal with meat anymore, but it is an important axis of the neighborhood. That guy coming to greet me is the butcher, Enrique. Enrique, tell me, brother, how's the business?
Yeah, everything's nice, everything's cool, Colonel. I'm feeling real good, you know? Business is business. From cutting to smashing, I'm still keeping it dirty because they loving the nasty.
Enrique leaves.
That cordial and friendly guy you just met is the biggest thief on this street. Everyone pays him homage because he is the one trafficking in intel. Everyone tries to get along with him. He even sleeps with several women in the neighborhood in exchange for food favors. And in those lovers' beds, they always tell him their calamities.
I love your clever Cubanisms, Ramiro.
Thank you, beautiful. But it is actually true. Enrique is a small feudal lord on a neighborhood scale. We don't persecute him because he is very useful as an informant. Plus, we have him between a rock and a hard place, so we compensate between his crimes and his cooperation.
It must be tough being the wife of the butchers.
That soap opera isn't important for us. Focusing on what's essential for us is part of the guarantee of success we have in this job. Remember that the end always justifies the means. And in that, exaggerated empathy with the characters can affect the essence of our goal. So always, Hortensia, keep some distance as long as you can.
Ramiro, please don't scare me that the feelings of the heart don't matter.
Suspect, and you shall conquer. Look, pay attention to that girl you see over there. Dressed somewhat scandalously. She is the neighborhood puta. The local hooker, Fatima. She's attractive, well-liked by men, but she is detested by women. And from that friction, we gain a lot.
I'm following your train of thought. You're going to say that she serves as a magnificent source of information because she mingles with foreigners, tourists, diplomats, businessmen. She introduces the neighborhood to topics from outside that the neighborhood itself doesn't produce, thus amplifying the information network.
Sweetheart, you are a beautiful, wicked analyst. You read almost all my cards. You're quite something, Hortensia.
Well, Ramiro, remember that my uncle is Hugo Chavez. Before sending me to Cuba, he gave me some great training. You're merely completing it.
Well, it is noticeable indeed, and so impressive. Anyway, getting back to Fatima, the only thing I would add is that don't think of the prostitute as a weak girl. On the contrary, she is the investor of the block. And her brother, the barber you see there with that innocent face, he manages the money she earns. He's the one who lends money with interest to the whole block. In other words, he operates like a local bank.
I love it. Even the barbers are your accomplices.
Of course. And by the way, this barber also acts as the psychoanalyst who listens to everyone's problems while they get their hair cut and shave. We have him cornered, and in return, he provides us with sensitive information. He has the gift of listening to others, almost like an uneducated social psychologist who solves gentlemen's frustrations with wads of money. If at any moment someone steps out of line, we give him coaching so he can advise people, thus ensuring no one strays from us. He's an expert at whispering in people's ears.
Ramiro, this is like a theater. You tell me this, and I feel like I'm in a movie.
Well, if you enjoy tragic cinema, this job will amuse you greatly. Ultimately, and this is vital, you'll notice that everyone is interconnected. They all know something about each other. There are always networks between them, bonds, traps, depths of milk, blood, money, well, human material that we can exploit.
They all betray each other, gossip, but they are also accomplices, and they support each other.
Exactly again.
Wow.
Because life isn't black and white. Although they see the state as a superior father figure, they also fear it and rebel against it. Our function is to anticipate their behavior, to predict what they're going to do. We're able to clinically forecast their steps.
Like a tracking dog on the hunt.
Oh, that is a beautiful metaphor for a job in social psychology. Thank you for understanding, Hortensia, and for summarizing it so exquisitely. This is something that often keeps us awake at night.
Thank you, Ramiro, for teaching me what lies behind the screen.
Yo quisiera ser la mujer del carnicero. Yo quisiera ser la mujer del carnicero. Tener casa, tener fe, envenenarme en el café. Yo quisiera ser la mujer del carnicero. Yo quisiera ser la mujer del carnicero.
Bistec is a production of Nuestro Studios. The series was executive produced by Manuel Ruiz Barrera, who directed and wrote the story. Sound design, mixing, mastering, and editing by Jaime Almiral Jr. Associate producer and production editor, Efraín González. Associate producer, Félix Montelara. Assistant director, script supervisor, and story consultant, Ernesto Fundora. Additional script supervisors and story consultants, Amaury Pacheco del Monte and Iris Hernandez. Alberto Bade composed our score. Marketing design, Iram Enriquez. Partial casting by Ana Braga Morfi. Media and distribution through Nuestro Stories and Audio Dice Network. Our incredible cast includes Roberto Escobar as Echauri Suárez, René Granado as Orlando Contreras, Maite Vilán as Micaela Martínez, René Laván as Coronel Ramiro Roca, Laura Termini as Hortensia, Robert Ramos as Vizcaíno El Visco, Andy Barbosa as Vladimir Suárez, Michael Ferreiro as Orlandito Contreras, Vivian Ruiz as Tía Millín, Maggie Zafra as Cecilia, Melissa Ann Ubicek as Marlene Presley. Additional cast includes Manuel Ruiz Barrera, Naomi Ruiz, Briani Ruiz, Alex Hernández, Efraín González, Ramé Ali Echeverry, Rick Nájera, Julián Nájera, Teresa Rodríguez, Jeffrey Batista, Tania Cecilia Díaz, Juan Camilo Jurado, Greg Yu. Narration by Greg Wiener. Musical performances and songs by John Darko, Leandro Tresero y Luthier, Elimir Coyoca, Federico Coyoca, Humberto Casanova, Juan A. Díaz, Lianet Uyola, Pavel de la Noval, Bernardo Izaguirre, Alfredo Chacón, Odali Salina, Lázaro Fundora. Additional executive producers include Armando Azarloza, Santiago El Hayek III, Lourdes Castillo, Ángela Sustaita Ruiz. Special thanks to the inspiration for the story, the one and only Micaela Ruiz. Additional thanks to the University of Miami School of Music, 80 Studio, Ramé Ali Echeverry, Celines Toribio, Rick Nájera, Robert Armband, and Catherine Costa. Bistec was recorded at South Point Production Studios and Panoramic Audio. To learn more about Bistec, follow bistec.film on Instagram or visit our website at www.bistecfilm.com. If you enjoyed the podcast, help us getting the word out by leaving a review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. It really helps. Thanks. Copyright 2024 Brilla Media Ventures LLC. Any use of this intellectual property for text and data mining or computational analysis, including as training material for artificial intelligence systems, is strictly prohibited without express written consent from Brilla Media Ventures LLC.